Welcome in. Hi. How are you doing? Yes, come on in. Yeah, we're totally free. Yeah. You were just curious about what this store was? Yeah, we are, in fact, a trivia store. We sell and present a lot of different trivia. I think that it's very important. Trivia, I think, does save lives. And so I set up the shop ages ago. As a way to sort of, to fulfill my dream and to make sure I give back to the community. Now, of course, no one really comes into this store, and we are, in fact, on the verge of bankruptcy if we're not there already. I don't really look at the books. I don't look at the numbers. I like to think that if I don't look at it, it just doesn't exist, right? So I'm just not going to worry about that. Instead, I'm going to worry about the fact that I have a customer in front of me. So, hello, hi. Would you like some form of, an example of the kind of trivia that we present here? Okay. Well, how about we do a little game about it? Yeah? Okay, I think that would be really good. So here's what we're gonna do. This is something I do with all of our customers. It's a very popular. Yeah, absolutely. With the three that's come in. So what we're going to do is I do have a notebook here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace different pictures. And I'm going to want you to guess what the picture I'm tracing is. If you can guess it properly, then you know there's trivia associated with that picture. Let's say you get like a point if you can guess it, right? And then if you can guess the associated trivia, then you get 5 points, okay? The trivia that we sell here is incredibly detailed and not renowned, but it's incredibly niche. It's the kind of trivia you won't think about, and you won't necessarily know, you won't hear about very often, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? So, do you want to get started? Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first picture. Yes, all the trivia is in my head. I obviously know everything there is to know, so let's go ahead. What was that? What do you think I traced right here? Okay, I can do it one more time. Absolutely. Here, I'll even do. How about that? What did I draw here? Okay. Let me go ahead and draw it for you so that you can It's a cat, of course. Actually, here. There you go. Look at this funny little guy. So, this is a cat. So, can you think of trivia that you might not know about cats? Okay. Well, the trivia is that cats only play at 3 a.m. Now, this is something that you might have heard of. It's one of our more common ones, but people don't really know why, right? And we here at our store are in the business of knowing. So the reason why a cat like this would potentially want to play at 3 a.m. and only play at 3 a.m. is because cats tend to get their powers from the moon. And so when the moon is at its brightest at 3 a.m., it will, of course, beam its energy onto all the cats within the region, right? So every cat's going to get incredibly powerful. And then, cats tend to be able to see spirits and ghosts and whatnot. And so they're trying to just vanquish the spirits around. And now, of course, there are spirits everywhere. Spirits tend to be very friendly. So, the cats tend to be considered little house demons. But, we still like to keep them anyway. So, it's pretty good to know. So if you ever have a cat, or if you already do have a cat, you might have heard some scrambling happening. Well, it's just the cat being powered by the moon. Okay. So next, we are going to do the next picture. So what was that? You'll have to think pretty hard about this. This is a very, let's say, nerdy hobby. Okay. What was that? You're not sure? Think about a piece. It's thin. What was that? Okay, let's go ahead and show you. So this was Do you still not know what that is? That is, of course, a Magic the Gathering card. So, based off of that, do you think that you would know what the trivia for this is? Now, you might notice that Magic the Gathering is, of course, sort of a trademarked product. It's copyrighted and whatnot. So we don't sell Magic the Gathering stuff here, and we don't sell any form of competitive information or anything like that. We, of course, do have information regarding every competitor and every tournament, what decks they're going to use and what they plan on swapping, what strategies they're going to use. That information, of course, is not on sale, and we will not be giving it to you. Of course, if you do give us, a bit of money or, favors of some kind, then maybe we can talk about it. But at the current moment, we are not selling them, So, Magic the Gathering, what is the trivia associated with this? Yes, Magic the Gathering is a hobby that is totally worth the money. That is the trivia. No, we're not sponsored by Magic the Gathering. It's just something that I truly believe. There are cards in Magic the Gathering that are worth hundreds of dollars. Some cheaper cards are worth $30, or, there are some cards that are worth some cents and whatnot, but, they're not very good cards. Otherwise, why would they be that, they wouldn't be that cheap. So, just something to keep in mind. It's completely worth the money to spend like half of your paycheck to buy a bunch of packs to make sure you get a card that you want, or you can spend the money to get a specific card. And then, of course, you can go for like the foil, or you can go for, all the different versions. It has a very good capitalist mindset, and we love that here, because I am trying at capitalism, and I may be failing, but I won't fail one day, and I'll be a billionaire myself, and then I need rules to protect me as a billionaire. I'm a potential billionaire, and so because I'm gonna be a billionaire in the future, I need to make sure that I push the propaganda of the elite 1%. Okay. So. Next, of course, let's give you an easy. You've been having a little bit of trouble, I think, right? So let's give you an easy one. Something that I think you should know. So what was that? What was that? Let's try that again. What was that? Come on, you know it. You didn't pay attention in class, but that doesn't mean you don't know what this is. I'll show you. So what trivia would be associated with this? Okay. No, so this is trivia that I think feels right in the soul, feels right within every gambler's dream, and that is that any chance of success is if it's not guaranteed, it's a 50-50 chance. What does that mean? That means that if you have a 99% chance to fail and a 1% chance to succeed, it's a 50-50. You may as well try. If you have a 99% chance to succeed and a 1% chance to fail, that's also a 50-50. You got to be careful. Okay? So this piece of trivia we gathered, particularly when we went to casinos and we went to different places. We talked to the locale. We talked to the people that are around, and this seemed to be a very common sentiment. I would also say that this is very common within the online gambling sphere. I do, of course, mean gotcha games. Gotcha games, if you do not know, are games specifically made so that you can gamble, and they're designed to try and take your money, but really what that means is that people have started creating different phrases and different ways of living, to justify their gambling habits. And I think we have to keep in mind that their gambling habits are completely valid, and I support it. I think that gambling is a right. And I think that if you aren't gambling, then what are you doing, right? Because, if all the money that I make here, I end up gambling anyway. Because, if I don't gamble it, then it's just going to sit and accrue interest. Or I could use it for something useful. I could donate it to, people in need. I could, use it to make sure to set myself up for success in the future. But, I don't live like that. So. Okay. Next, we are going to do something along the same veins, okay? Veins. Along the same vein. Can you be along the same veins, many veins? I may have a lot of trivia, but I am not great at English. So let's go ahead and do the next one. What was that? What do you think that was? Here, I'll draw it again and I'll draw it better, okay? I'll do a full outline here. What do you think that is? It's a very common household item for a lot of people, but not everybody. Some people with computers might say that they dislike this item. Here, I'll give you... Should I draw it one more time for you? Okay, I'll do it one more time. I can totally do that. Anything for my favorite customer. Yes, you are my favorite customer because we don't get that many. There we go. What was that? What is that? Okay. Let's go ahead and show you what that was, okay? So. That is a controller, a video game controller. It is, of course, just an outline, but you get the gist, right? Absolutely. So, what trivia do you think I would know about this? Okay. Good guess. But I was thinking more on the literal sense. So video games are, of course, absolutely lethal, right? If you've ever heard the phrase, if you die in the game, you die in real life, that was said, I think Einstein said it. So, and he's very smart. So I would say that this is, he was hinting at the fact that video games are in fact lethal, and people who play video games die every single day. I don't know from what, and it could be from old age, but they do die, and I think video games are a problem. If there's an increase in disease, and an increase in societal problems, and there's an increase in video games, and just because it's correlated, it does mean that it's caused by it as well. So it's just something that we have to keep in mind and be very, very conscious of, right? I absolutely want you to be playing video games if you want to, but just it's like smoking, right? You don't want to smoke all the time, just occasionally, right? You want to make sure that your lungs aren't prim and proper. You want to make sure that they have a little bit of smoke in them, because if you don't have a lot of smoke in it, then it's not used to it. And then what if you're in a very smoky area? Then you're going to be completely out of luck, whereas a smoker might have a great time, is completely used to the smoke. This is a similar thing, right? You want to make sure you understand, in case you're in a position where you have to fight for your life within a video game, you need to be able to at least understand it. But just understand that it is also very lethal. Okay? All right. So, we still have 2 more. So here, let's do you want something, do you want something, you know what? Why am I asking you? You don't know what you want. So let's go ahead and I will pick one. What was that? What was that awkward object? I'll do it again. What was it? Okay. Let's go ahead. That is, of course, a throne. Very obviously a throne. So, what trivia would be pretty important and pretty, I would say, not a lot of people know this, but it's, I think, important to say. What do you think? Yes, it is that Game of Thrones ended well. See, listen, I'm not defending the ending. I just think that it ended well. And it's absolutely, probably, one of the most noteworthy endings of all time. And I think that everybody is just hallucinating. Why would... all these decisions that were made by the writers, I think you just made that up. I don't think that's real. Yeah, I don't actually think you watched it. So okay. Yes, this is a very, very important piece of trivia. And, I think that with this information, that particular piece of trivia, I believe, is about $30. So I'm giving it to you for free, mainly because I do think that I need to hook you. And I listened to a few business podcasts, a few sort of capitalist podcasts. As you know, any business owner would be listening to podcasts. No, there are no women in them. No, why would I have? No, absolutely not. So I need to be able to get you to be invested in this, right? So I'm trying, okay? So, lastly, let's do this last one. So, are you ready? Okay. What is that? You feel like I could change it up? Okay, here. I'll draw a different version of it. What is that? I'll draw that one again, okay? What was that? Okay. Draw for you. That is, of course, an anime character. Very obviously, this is an anime character. I can't believe you didn't get that. So, what would I have to say about anime or an anime character? What do you think? Just based off of what you know about me. No, absolutely not. I wanted to say that animation workers, particularly anime workers, are paid extraordinarily fairly. In fact, I believe, and this is a really good piece of trivia, they're paid more than they need to be paid. I believe they're paid per frame, and I think that is a bit too much. They should be paid for every 2 frames, and maybe even for every scene, right? And every scene should be maybe, I don't know, a few cents, because, you need to be able to get them to work, right? You need to motivate them. You need to get them to grind. You're not going to do it. And of course, this is a completely serious conversation when I say that I could completely take over their work if they wanted me to, but I just need to, my skills aren't necessarily there yet, but they will be, and I, give me a day, and I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So I've given you some good pieces of trivia, and I think that with that, you should be able to understand a little bit more as to the kinds of trivia that we have here. So is there any trivia that you wanted to gain some knowledge from those trivia that you wanted? I can go and get you some books about those trivias, or I can impart that knowledge upon you. Whatever you want. Or if you wanted to, I can shut this whole place down and you could hire me as an advisor of some kind if you wanted. That's completely up to you as well. Of course, I would feel really sad about this place closing down because this is a pillar of the community. Not many people come in here, but it is a pillar of the community. Like I say that all the time. So anyway, what do you think? Okay. You're going to think on it. Okay. I see. Well, you have our number and you will be able to contact us. So I will be waiting by the phone. Okay. Well, bye-bye. Oh, don't rush too far. Bye. Okay.